What if I told you that Russia is pouring billions into a secret weapon for tech independence, and it isn't what you think? Forget about lithography machines for a second. Today, we are breaking down two massive, high-stakes microelectronics projects that Moscow just greenlit. We will look at the secret tech called Epitaxy, how they plan to clone Western machines, and the astronomical tech hurdles they face. Watch till the end to see how this reshapes the global semiconductor landscape. Russia has furthered its long-term quest to re-establish critical semiconductor manufacturing capabilities by starting two significant microelectronics projects that are designed to strengthen domestic epitaxy equipment. Epitaxy is a manufacturing process that deposits a thin, crystalline layer onto a crystalline base in an organized manner. The new layer is forced to grow in the exact same crystal structure and orientation as the underlying substrate, which functions as a seed crystal. In early June 2026, the Russian Ministry of Industry and Trade published procurement documents that indicated nearly 2 billion rubles had been allocated to the development of two advanced categories of semiconductor manufacturing systems. These systems are presently dominated by Western suppliers. Now, what is the big deal with epitaxy anyway? As mentioned, it is a technologically challenging stage of chip production that involves the growth of ultra-thin crystalline semiconductor layers on silicon or compound semiconductor wafers. These layers form the foundation of many modern electronic, photonic, and radio frequency devices. Epitaxial growth is essential for producing high-performance transistors, power electronics, microwave components, laser devices, and advanced sensors. Following years of sanctions and export restrictions that have limited access to Western technology, Moscow's initiative is indicative of its overarching strategy to decrease its reliance on imported semiconductor equipment. Look, let's be real for a second. Building these complex machines from scratch is an absolute beast of a task. But the Russian government has partitioned the effort into two distinct programs to make it happen. The first and more significant undertaking is designated as Citadel and has a budget of approximately 1.5 billion rubles. It concentrates on the creation of a molecular beam epitaxy system that is capable of fabricating sophisticated compound semiconductor heterostructures. These heterostructures are composed of materials such as gallium arsenide, indium-containing compounds, and aluminum-gallium semiconductor structures. The second project, Epitaxy Psi-GE, has been allocated approximately 463.7 million rubles and is designed to develop a chemical vapor phase epitaxy system for silicon and silicon-germanium semiconductor layers on 200mm substrates. In recent years, Russia has made one of its most extensive efforts to localize sophisticated semiconductor manufacturing equipment, as opposed to relying on imported tools to produce chips. Collectively, the programs represent this effort. If we shift our focus to why this matters, we see that although lithography machines are often the subject of public debate regarding semiconductors, epitaxy systems are similarly important for many electronic categories. Epitaxy enables manufacturers to cultivate crystalline layers that are exceedingly pure and possess electrical properties that are methodically managed. The process allows engineers to build structures that would be unfeasible to produce using conventional bulk semiconductor materials alone. Modern telecommunications devices, military radar systems, satellite electronics, photonics devices, and high-speed processors all depend on epitaxially grown layers. Epitaxial layers increase the reliability and efficacy of transistors in silicon devices. Epitaxy facilitates the production of optoelectronic components and high-frequency components that are used in defense and communications applications for compound semiconductors like gallium arsenide. Only a small number of companies worldwide manufacture epitaxy equipment, which needs ultra-high vacuum systems, precise temperature control, sophisticated robotics, and advanced process monitoring. This brings us directly to the Citadel molecular beam epitaxy system itself. The Citadel project, which is more comprehensive, aims to develop a molecular beam epitaxy platform that is domestic and can replace foreign systems like the American Vico Gen 200 and the French Reber 49. Currently, there are no direct industrial Russian equivalents in this category of equipment, as indicated by Russian procurement documentation. Let's zoom out and look at how crazy precise this technology actually is. Molecular beam epitaxy is one of the most precision semiconductor manufacturing technologies currently available. The wafer surface is targeted by beams of atoms, which are deposited one atomic layer at a time under ultra-high vacuum conditions. This enables engineers to generate semiconductor structures that are exceedingly complex, with remarkable control over their composition and thickness. It is expected that the upcoming Russian system will facilitate the bulk processing of multiple wafers simultaneously. The apparatus must be able to accommodate a minimum of 5 76mm substrates or 3 100mm substrates in a single processing cycle, as required by the design specifications. This capability is crucial because it boosts productivity and reduces manufacturing expenses in comparison to systems that process wafers individually. Looking closely at the fine print, the tender documentation's stringent technical specifications emerge as one of the most noteworthy features of the project. The molecular beam epitaxy chamber must attain a residual pressure that is extremely low, measured in fractions of a trillionth of atmospheric pressure, following heating. It is important to preserve these vacuum levels, as even microscopic contamination can modify the electrical properties of semiconductor layers. The wafer surface must also be subjected to highly uniform deposition by the equipment. Thickness variation targets are limited to a mere few percent, and pharmaceutical uniformity requirements are equally rigorous. Furthermore, the machine is expected to integrate 10 molecular beam source ports with sophisticated analytical systems and large crucible volumes. The following are included: infrared optical pyrometry for real-time process monitoring and reflection, high-energy electron diffraction diagnostics. According to Altitude Addicts tracking global supply chains, these characteristics are typically associated with advanced industrial semiconductor fabrication systems and research systems that are used by major international manufacturers. This leads right into the details of the Epitaxy SiG project. The second initiative is directed at a specific industry of semiconductor manufacturing. The Epitaxy CE program will concentrate on the development of equipment for silicon and silicon germanium epitaxial growth on 200mm wafers rather than compound semiconductors. Silicon germanium technology is widely used in specialized integrated circuits, data communications hardware, radio frequency electronics, and high-performance transistors. The system is designed to serve as a domestic alternative to the Epsilon 2000 platform, which is manufactured by ASM International. The undertaking necessitates the creation of 3 critical subsystems: a robotic wafer handling system, a dry chemical wafer cleansing module, and a deposition reactor that facilitates epitaxial growth are all included in the system. Its purpose is to prepare substrates for processing. Hey, if you are still trying to visualize how intense this environment gets, imagine this. While operating within a broad pressure range, the reactor faces temperatures that approach 1180 degrees Celsius. To reach the requisite crystal quality for the precision growth of silicon and silicon germanium layers, these conditions are essential. Additionally, Russian planners have specified performance objectives, which include silicon growth rates of at least 6 micrometers per hour. Beyond just assembling the parts, the program's emphasis on domestic content is perhaps its most noteworthy feature. The Ministry of Industry and Trade is not just seeking a Russian-branded version that is assembled from imported components. The procurement documents explicitly stipulate that critical subsystems, such as vacuum chambers, compressors, molecular beam sources, vacuum valves, and control systems, must be of Russian origin whenever feasible. Formal justification and ministry sanction are required for the use of imported alternatives, which are only permissible in exceptional circumstances. This requirement is indicative of a more extensive trend in Russia's industrial policy. Russian authorities have been concentrating on technological sovereignty since 2022 to mitigate the vulnerabilities that are a result of their dependence on foreign suppliers for strategic technologies. Industry. Altitude Addicts note that semiconductor manufacturing equipment faces significant challenges due to reliance on a limited number of international suppliers for specialized components like vacuum gauges, controllers, power supplies, and precision motion systems. This highlights the immense challenges to the program. The development of competitive semiconductor equipment remains an extraordinarily complex effort, despite considerable funding by Russian standards. Vico, Reiber, and ASM International have worked for decades to refine their technologies and develop a wealth of engineering expertise. Advanced materials science, vacuum engineering, automation, software development, thermal management, and process control technologies are all integrated into modern epitaxy systems. In addition to hardware development, the domestic replication of these capabilities will necessitate the establishment of specialized engineering talent and manufacturing supply chains. Certification is an additional obstacle. Before implementing new equipment for production, semiconductor manufacturers typically necessitate years of testing. Even if Russian developers are able to build functional systems, their pervasive industrial adoption will be contingent upon their ability to demonstrate economic viability, repeatability, and reliability. When we look at the long-term timelines, the true scale of the operation becomes obvious. The magnitude of the project is exemplified by the Ministry of Industry and Trade's established timelines. The Epitaxy project is expected to be finalized by June 2029. It is expected that the Citadel molecular beam epitaxy system, which is more ambitious, will continue until October 2030. These extended schedules suggest that the government regards the initiative as a long-term strategic investment rather than a short-term industrial undertaking. These two epitaxy programs are part of a broader Russian initiative to rehabilitate the domestic semiconductor infrastructure. Moscow has initiated initiatives that concentrate on semiconductor materials, chip design software, electronic components, manufacturing equipment, and packaging technologies in recent years. The development of domestic epitaxy equipment addresses a significant gap in the country's technology ecosystem, despite the fact that Russia continues to lag behind global leaders in advanced semiconductor manufacturing. Russia could acquire local access to equipment required for the production of silicon-germanium devices, gallium arsenide components, microwave electronics, photonic systems, and other specialized semiconductor products that are crucial for both civilian and defense industries if the projects achieve their technical objectives. Market altitude addicts closely watching this space point out that it remains to be resolved whether these systems will ultimately achieve performance levels that are comparable to those of established Western platforms. Nevertheless, the extensive funding, the rigorous technical specifications, and the emphasis on domestic subsystems suggest that Russia is making a concerted effort to consolidate its influence over one of the most critical sectors of semiconductor manufacturing technology. We thank the people who have subscribed the channel, liked, and shared the videos. We also thank the channel members for encouraging us. Last but not least, we also thank the viewers who have hyped our videos.